Hey, I'm Jim Search, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Rob Adler and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And today, we are going to take a ride on the Buffalo Metro Rail, baby. That's
Woo!
Right. Hell yeah. 716.
Understanding Upstate is going underground, baby. Usually it's up puns. Today it's under puns. How about that?
Yeah. You weren't ready for that, were you, speedy freaks?
I wasn't ready for it because I edited out the second take of it.
Listen, you guys are getting behind the curtain on this one, man. You're going to see how we make the sausage here at the old Understanding Upstate factory. Well,
one day we'll do a, how it's made style episode of yeah, it'll be great.
I love it.
It'll be great.
Speaking of how it's made, this is how you out there make this show an even better show. Subscribe, rate, review our show. Share this episode with a friend. Put a 5-star review in Apple Podcasts and let us know your favorite upstate location or person or speedy in the review. Let us know what makes your heart sing in regards to upstate New York, and we will shout you out. How about that?
Tell you what, this is a this week only offer. It's one of my goals to get the grill up and running this week.
Okay.
By this weekend. If you give us a 5-star rating and a positive review and you throw in your favorite type of speedy, that's the first thing I'm going to grill this year. If you put a pork speedy, I'm making a pork speedy. If you put in a chicken speedy, I'm making a chicken speedy. If you put in a lamb speedy, I'm making lamb speedies.
Yeah.
If you put in salmon speedies, I'll fucking do it. I'll do it.
I'll do it. I don't give a fuck,
Don't
man.
threaten me. I will do it.
I will make it.
I might not enjoy it, but I'll do it.
And that's the sacrifices that we make here, the Understanding Upstate podcast, baby. You know what I mean? That's the type of fellas we are. Now, y'all ready to hear about this Buffalo Metro Rail?
I was born ready. Famously, I love a ditch, typically filled with water, but if you dig a ditch, cover it, and ram a train through it, I also like that.
Into that too. Let's get into it. And also, I'll be before we jump in there though. I want to say this real quick. Pretty sure I wrote on this at some point.
No way. On the above ground or underground or both. Got it.
I'm pretty sure I wrote on the above ground because I went to go visit a friend of mine who went to Upstate, which is in the city of Buffalo, and I'm fairly certain that I was riding that Metro Rail at some point.
Very cool.
There you go. Celebs, just like us. All right. The Buffalo Metro Rail is a public transit rail system in Buffalo, New York. Wasn't going to be in Secaucus, tell you that. Operated by the Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority, or the NFTA. The system consists of a single 6.4-mile-long light rail line that runs most of the length of Main Street, New York State Route 5, from Quebec Center in Canal Side to the South Campus of the University of Buffalo in the northeast corner of the city. Now, the first section was opened in 1984 in October. The current system was completed in November of 86. In 2023, the system had a ridership of 2.4 million people, or about 8,000 per weekday as of the first quarter of 2024.
Okay.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, not bad. Well, let's get into the history of this upstate subway system. And it wasn't the first mass transit system to exist in Buffalo. And this is kind of the case for a lot of mid-size and larger cities where a lot of cities, even like Brooklyn, had they had trolleys. They already had these kind of systems, and then kind of basically corrupt politicians came along who had money invested in the bus industry, and they gutted all those trolley systems and put in, bus systems, which more pollution, and also like they could cut service more easily, and etc.
Make life more difficult because that's what life's all about.
Yes, but yeah, so there used to be a streetcar and interurban railway that existed in Buffalo from 1830 to about 1950, which is right around when a lot of these lines started to disappear nationally, with several lines that also radiated into surrounding communities such as Tonawanda, Niagara Falls, and even Niagara Peninsula in Canada, which again, like pretty... If you remember, the current system is 6.4 miles.
Right.
Like this is a huge interconnected system.
And, as someone who went to school right outside of Niagara Falls is pretty, not like far away from Buffalo, but like definitely a good distance away. So the fact that there was this level of interconnection was pretty impressive.
Yeah. And all these lines merged in 1902 to form the International Railway Company. And with a rise in bus usage starting in the mid-30s, streetcar ridership declined rapidly until 1950, with several streetcar lines being shuttered over time until the rail system was eliminated entirely. I found a quote from someone reminiscing about this old line when the new line opened, and their name is Carrie Mentecki, and they said, "I remember those trolley cars. They wobbled so, and the noise was enough to kill you."
Jesus.
Yeah,
all right.
It sounded... maybe there was some incentive to using the slightly quieter bus. I mean, buses... I can't imagine a bus in 1940 being quiet.
Yeah.
It's a picture of the trolley. And says, of course, in those days, you rode all the way from south of Buffalo to Niagara Street. When they started with the malls in the suburbs, then downtown died, and I mean died. At one time you came here, it was shoulder to shoulder with people. Now you see no one, which we'll kind of talk about. We're going to talk about the decline of just the population of Buffalo as well through all of this. So, kind of the planning of this new current system, despite, as we were just talking about, despite the decline of Buffalo's industry and population over the next few decades, federal funds and desire to revitalize downtown spurred the Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority, say that 5 times fast, the IRC's successor, to construct the modern Metro rail line starting in 1979. That is going to prove to be an important year. I believe Carter was president in 79, but in 1980, he would not be president.
No, there would be a different man.
We'll get to. So, and there was basically, again, large amount of federal funding that had been approved. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but essentially the federal government was going to pay for 80% of this initial plan. The state would pick up 20%. So Buffalo citizens are getting this tax-free in that they're not paying local taxes, still paying federal. But they're not seeing an increase in their taxes to get this new transit system. However, it kind of had a rocky start. Even before it opened, I found an article from the New York Times from October 27th, 1983. Headline, Flaws Found in New Buffalo Subway.
Woo!
And just the Cuomo administration, this would be Mario Cuomo, the first Cuomo governor.
The dad of Andrew Cuomo?
Of disgraced Andrew Cuomo, yes. They found major deficiencies in the project. So these are, I think, the main ones. First, in many places, the concrete walls of the tunnel are less than 12 inches thick, which was required by design. In some cases, the thickness is only 2 inches.
Whoa.
Yikes. Yeah, that's a big discrepancy. Water continues to seep into the tunnel at a rate, and I quote, significantly higher than that allowed by the engineering design.
This sounds like the New York City subway system. as we're just discussing this here.
But it's like 100 years old. This is brand new.
Right.
Brand new.
This should not be so.
Let's see what else. The tunnel's construction does not give the trains enough clearance to navigate turns. Crews have had to grind down the walls to increase room for clearance. Hey, well, there you go. That's why it's not 12 inches. They had to shave off 10 inches on either side of the goddamn tunnel.
Jesus.
Yes, there are large voids between the concrete walls of the tunnel and the surrounding ground. It is unknown whether the efforts to fill these have been successful. There's just voids.
What is that?
There's just an abyss.
Just hell?
Yeah.
Is it just like the nether region on the other side?
I think so.
Holy moly. Golly.
And finally, engineers have questioned whether the ceiling of the tunnel will support the power line that the trains are to use. Yikes.
So we're just maybe this is going to work, maybe it's not.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
So that's October 27th, 1983. And that's, all those are issues dealing with the underground portion. I think we mentioned it earlier, but there's two chunks of this. There's an above ground portion, which I think is kind of mainly the downtown strip. It's like the Main Street strip where there's supposed to be all this new shopping and that's going to open.
Right.
And that's 1.2 miles. The main chunk of it, I believe, is 5.2 or 5.4 miles all underground. And it opened in stages. They guess what? They opened the above ground part first because it didn't have all of those previous stated issues, and that was a year later after that article was published on October 9th, or rather, it opened a year later, October 9th, 1984, a year after that article we just quoted from, and this was. Let's see. Yeah, just 1.2 miles. I found an article a little bit after the fact that it had opened called Buffalo's New Subway, Neat and Safe. From September 10th, 1985. I'll pull a few lines from this New York Times article. The first opening line is, imagine a New York subway system that has had 1 mugging and 5 graffiti scrawls and has its riders buy tickets on the honor system. And imagine a subway, its detractors say, that after 7 years of construction and $500 million of investment runs 4.5 miles through 12 stations and carries 16,000 passengers a day.
I want to talk to the one person who got mugged. I want to know the story there, because I feel like, and just hear me out, is that when you have like a lot of muggings, right? Mm-hmm. The police are generally like, that's a lot. I don't know what to do here. But one, just one.
Well, we'll get into it. To help prevent crime and graffiti, Buffalo had a special subway police force. Hey, Eric Adams, look at that! Wow.
Yeah. Don't look at that, Eric.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, they did get special hats. Give them wide-brimmed Stetson hats. That's fun, right?
That's festive. That's fun and flirty.
Yeah. And 35 officers. They did three daily graffiti checks.
Okay.
And I believe the one mugging, the person that did the mugging was arrested immediately. So I don't even know if you can say the person was mugged, right? Like they presumably got their stuff back immediately. There's some details missing here. I think we can say one attempted mugging.
I feel like attempted, right? There was one attempted mugging because, as you said, like a mugging is like my shit's gone. Like,
Yep.
you got me.
Yep.
So tighten up here, reporters. New York Times.
A bit. I think one thing that helps is the train was closed on weekends, and let's see, it like had limited hours at night. So it like also it was closed on weekends. This article is like 3 months in from the opening of the line, and like what it's to like revitalize this downtown shopping district, and they don't have it running on weekends. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're doing.
That doesn't feel like a good strategy to revitalize. If I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
No. And quoting again from the article, a major drawback, some Buffalo residents say, is that in a city with an extensive highway system and plenty of parking, the subway goes from, quote, nowhere to nowhere, end quote.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the other thing, too, that it's of note, right, is that, like, it is, like, I feel like there's, like, a very precarious place that you are as a mid-sized city like Buffalo, in that, like, yeah, a lot of people have cars, and you know what I mean? And I feel like you have to build up your downtown infrastructure before, or hope that this is going to build your downtown infrastructure, but...
And the next quote will kind of illuminate that. We're like, from what I've read, they're like, if we build a subway, they will come. That was like, we don't need anything else. Let's start with the mass transit and go out from there. And this one quote says, sections of Main Street have been torn up for 7 years, sending some merchants fleeing to the suburbs because people couldn't drive in and park and go to these businesses for 7 years.
Right.
And like one quote, some 50 people have gone out of business within 3 blocks of here, said an owner of a local radio store or electronics store. He said he used to get 100 people a day, and now it's only 6 or 7. So I would have moved long ago if I didn't own the building.
There you go.
And there was supposed to be like a mall that was built as part of this. It's unclear whether that's like, I think actually it was let me retake that. There's supposed to be a mall that was built as part of this, like a pedestrian mall that was going to be 1.2 miles long, and it was going to be the longest pedestrian mall in the country,
Really?
according to the Buffalo executive director of the Downtown Buffalo Management Corporation. So could be true, might not be true, but still like a 1.2 mile pedestrian mall in, the 80s. I believe that as being,
No, I mean,
probably one of the bigger.
You got to think, like this is obviously pre-internet, so it's like you have like brick and mortar sales, and like people go out for the experience of going to the mall, right? So.
Right. And so kind of as I mentioned, part of the issue I'll say is this was all approved at the end of the Carter administration as one Reagan came into power for the next 8 years. So basically, long story short, there's this huge plan. Money's approved for this initial phase. It was initially supposed to be, I think, 15 miles worth of subway / light rail. It's only these six some odd miles because the funding got cut by the Reagan administration. We'll get into some more things that happened. But basically, it was like, hey, there's this great thing. And then Reagan was just like, hold on one second.
Fuck you.
Yes. And that brings us to the next article from 86 titled New Buffalo Rapid Transit Line is Imperiled from June 10th of 86, which I would like to give the subtitle Reagan to Buffalo, Drop Dead, basically.
I'm sure some expletives surely follow Drop Dead.
Oh, sure.
From that too. And, it's interesting to watch, like, when you had Reagan, a very staunch conservative Republican, take over after Carter and then say, hey, if he did it, I'm against it. So everything that he likes, I'm not going to do. I feel like we've seen this before.
It was federal government shouldn't be funding services for people. Right. Like, so just all of these programs got absolutely slashed. And it's because of that. It's just been mired with issues, and they've, had to cut corners, and like, I'm sure it probably extended the construction time and all these other issues. But from the article, basically they're saying like the funding's cut and they don't have the ridership they thought they were going to have, and they're not getting the money they need to like sustain this because the federal funding has been cut. Let me see here. So from the beginning of the article, Buffalo's year-old rapid transit line might be forced to shut down unless a new source of revenue is found to cover its operating deficits. Basically, the transit officials blamed erroneous population data for the original estimate of how much ridership they would have. They said they expected the Buffalo area's population to be growing when it was actually shrinking, which I think is pretty well documented that it's shrinking. Like, factories have been closing since the 70s, and people are like leaving in pretty significant numbers from Buffalo.
I don't know how you like swing in such a wildly opposite direction in terms of research. Like,
right.
I thought there were more people coming in, but actually, less people. Right. Like, yep. I don't get how you get to that point.
Indeed. And then there are any people like local officials who oppose the line altogether, which is basically some like not in my backyard kind of shit.
Sure. Right.
But they contend that the NFTA deliberately issued misleading figures because they wanted to build the system.
Gotcha.
As a result of the low ridership, fares were paying for less than 20% of the line's operating cost, according to the authority. They were about to expand to open up the final 1.5 mile section to bump it up to the 6.4 miles. But again, this is kind of like up in the air at this point. And they talk about how like there was originally going to be 13 miles, but cutbacks in federal financing have reduced it to 6.4. Kind of reinforcing again the like nowhere to nowhere of it all.
Right. Like, I mean, and if you think about like 6.4 miles of like a city, it's like, I mean, you could kind of walk that if you wanted, like you know what I mean? Or like in a day, if you wanted, less than a day, for fuck's sake. But,
well, again, it's bringing people who are like 6.4 miles. Yeah, you're in town already, and it's just bringing you to like the shopping mall, right? It's not necessarily, it's not like providing a great service because it's not connecting outer parts of the city into the central part. It's just kind of like, all right, you're kind of already in downtown. Well, let's bring you to where you can spend some more money. It's like, I need to go to the doctor. No, you need a new radio. Come get a radio.
Let's bring you from downtown to downtown.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
which again, like, was not the original plan, and because of funding cuts, it just botched I think a lot of the effectiveness of this system. One kind of finishing out this part of the article, it says, if the Reagan administration continues to reduce aid for mass transit, operating deficits for the authority as a whole could rise to $15 million by next year and to $23 million by 1990, agency officials say. And that's, again, they're 1 year in. They're 1 year in,
Right.
and they're at a huge deficit, like right out the gate. And that's the end of that article from 86. So at the time of the start of construction, the line was intended to be the first line for an extensive heavy rail system, as we've kind of talked about, that would spread throughout the city and the suburbs. However, during the construction of the line and afterward, Buffalo's population declined significantly by approximately 55%, from 580,000 in 1950 to about 261,000 in 2010. The new line's ridership was much lower than originally anticipated, as we had talked about. Like, my God, that's such a that's a huge decline for a smaller city.
I believe that's what we call white flight.
Indeed. And there was, like, again, really great hope for when this opened. Like, the NFTA executive director, Joseph D. Latona, is quoted as saying, "It is a great day for Buffalo," when it opened up, with Representative Jack Kemp proclaiming it was the renaissance of the city, which is just kind of a bummer. That there's just like all this hope that it would continue to expand, and it did not initially. Let's see. Then the line was further extended. So this is kind of after all the articles we've covered. It was further extended to University Station, serving University at Buffalo, November 10th, 1986. And basically the original 6.4 mile line, which is kind of what it is in total. 5.2 of them are underground, 1.2 above ground, ran from downtown northward to the southern campus of the State University at Buffalo. New York City system, by comparison, guess how many route miles there were at the time in 1986? We had 6.4 in Buffalo.
Right.
What do you think New York City has?
Well, I mean, I'm going to say more than that.
You're going with 6.5 miles, Bob, right? A little Price is Right.
6.5 for the win, not a mile more.
It's 230 miles.
Yeah.
230 miles.
And as somebody who has, ridden both of these respective transit lines, I can say that the New York City one is far more extensive. I mean, it's it's arguably the most extensive in the world. But yeah, I again, it's 6.4 miles. Like that's that is more hassle than it's worth. In some ways, right? Well,
indeed.
Let's get into some of the renovations and expansions. Okay, let's talk about it. In 2008, Buffalo began a project to reintroduce cars to Main Street. The project in question involved creating a shared track bed roadway with curbside parking. So a little bit sounds like San Francisco-y a little bit. As well as the permanent closure of the theater station, which occurred on February 18th, 2013. The closure of this station meant that the Fountain Street Plaza station, located 546 feet south in the 500 block of Main Street, now serves as the northern terminus for the fare-free zone. So, like,
I guess that's like a third of a mile.
Right. 500 feet. I don't know how you I just have to say this. I don't know how you look at all of these like facts and figures with just like a straight face. Like, all right. So, you can throw a stone at where this is going to be. So, on January 23rd, 2015, after less than 2 years of construction, traffic was reintroduced to the 600 block on Main Street between Tupper and Chippewa Streets in the Theater District. Now, January 9th, 2017, then disgraced governor, well, he wasn't disgraced then, but
Yeah.
the governor at that point, Andrew Cuomo, soon to be disgraced, announced in his State of the State address that funding would be secured for the Amherst and Cobblestone line extensions.
Yeah, baby. That's more ditches.
Yeah, more, let's get these ditches up, baby. If successful, this would be the first extension in the services. Let me take that over again. If successful, this would be the first extension in the service's history. Funding for an environmental review into the Amherst extension was approved in 2018. The study is expected to take between 24 to 30 months. Somewhat relatedly, West Side Gun has a song called Amherst Station. How about that?
All right.
Fun
All
fact.
right. There we go.
In 2019, Tim Kennedy and Crystal People-Stokes secured $100 million state commitment to the fund renovation and repair work throughout the system that had largely been delayed since the line's opening. So we're finally going to fix some of the shit. The funding is intended for total track replacement, catenary replacements, fastener and pad replacements, as well as 2 station complete rebuilds, Candleside and Church, and increased passenger comfort amenities at other stations.
Nice. There you go.
Now, what are those amenities? If I had to guess, if it's Buffalo, I'm going to say some more beer. I know those folks, as I do, and some Jim's Steakout. You can order that on the train. Very good loaded steak hoagies, if I must say myself.
Delightful.
All right. I'm going to talk a little bit about the operations, like the route. Okay. Mm-hmm. The Metro Rail is a light rail transit system as characterized by the American Public Transportation Association, although it shares many characteristics of heavy rail metro systems and could be considered a light metro. 80% of the track, 5.2 miles, is an underground subway with high-level platforms.
Jim, I have been dying to know if we could consider this a light metro. So thank you for answering.
Yeah, you know what? That a lot of people have. People have. So that meaning, because all of our math heads out there know that the 20% is above ground and are on the surface on Main Street in downtown Buffalo, which includes a brief underpass of Buffalo's tallest building, the Seneca One Tower. How tall is that? Couldn't tell you. Now, Buffalo trains join Philadelphia SEPTA light rail cars as the only modern non-articulated LRVs operating in the United States. If you ever find yourself on Jeopardy, folks, and whomever the host may be at the time hits you with that, you're going to get it right.
There you go. Non-articulating. That doesn't sound like a good thing. I want articulating, I think. But I digress.
Yeah, neither here nor there. One thing I can say we can say on the upside is the fares. This sounds pretty fucking sweet. I wish despite the fuckery here, I'll take the fares. Fares are collected through a proof of payment system enforced through random ticket inspections. Can't get away with that shit in New York City. Travel is free.
It's what they do on the buses now.
Is it?
Right, some of the plus buses.
Oh,
you get
yeah.
a little time ticket and hop on, and they check it. Never.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, New York's too fucking chaotic. Travel is free on the above ground portion of the system. That's great.
There you
Regular fare, $2.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Granted, we're at $2.90 at this point.
Yeah.
And it's absolute fucking chaos.
$2.90, but we can go 230 miles. They can go 6.4. So, when you look at the dollar to mile ratio, We're getting
Fair.
pretty good value. Fair. You see what you did there?
I didn't even see that coming. Sometimes the puns.
You're that good.
Nah, come on, man. Sometimes the puns just find you, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, various passes are also available for sale, much like us. All stations have ticket machines. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the NFTA temporarily suspended fare collection starting in late March 2020, and then they resumed it June 29th, 2020. So you could just get on that motherfucker for free.
There you go.
Running these streets. Now, here's where it's almost like for 6.4 miles, right? I'm going to give you the schedule for 6.4 miles because in my heart, and I feel like many of our other hearts out there listening, should just run. It's 6.4 miles. Just do it all the time. What are we doing, right? Well, folks, sit down because that is not how this works. The Metro Rail runs as follows. Monday through Friday, 5:10 a.m. to 12:50 a.m. Saturday, 7:05 a.m. to 12:50 a.m. And Sundays and holidays, 8 a.m. to 11:50 p.m. Although most bus service is available until approximately 12:30 a.m. Now, you should just be on this for all the time. Do it like us, baby. City that don't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just keep going.
Yep.
It's 6.4 miles.
Yeah.
I mean, just keep going. I don't know. Now, folks, that's what I got for our schedules here and for the Buffalo Light Rail.
Mm-hmm. I'll add one small thing that people have been actively attempting to expand it ever since it opened in this limited 6.4 mile run, which again, it seems it's like it's almost an insult to like have such a short subway system, right? And not just tack on a couple more stops or expand it little by little. I was on r/mass transit, the Reddit group, very active discussions about the Buffalo subway system. There r/Buffalo up to 3 months. There was like a post about proposed subway expansion that, I don't know, hundreds of comments from 3 months ago. Like this is a very
this is hot.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, hot. People like. Again, there's like groups that are against it, but largely a lot of people are in support of it, it would seem, and it's just the expansion efforts just never really it never really comes through, unfortunately. So maybe we will hopefully one day get to do a follow-up episode recorded live from the Buffalo subway expansion. We'll record it just on the rails, baby, just riding the new expansion when it hopefully opens, I don't know, next year. We'll give them a year. We'll give them a year to do it.
Yeah. And then until, if you can't, then fuck off. Creeps.
Indeed. Well, while we wait for the NFTA to expand the Buffalo subway system so we can do an episode on it in the future, what should people listen to in the meantime as they wait with bated breath to ride the Buffalo subway expansion?
Well, I'll tell you what, Rob. Let's say you're hanging out the Amherst station, right? You're just kicking it there. You wanted to see where West Side Gun got his inspiration for the song, Amherst Station. So you go there, and you're waiting for the train. Now, it says 10 minutes, but you've been there for a while. And you're like, well, how do I entertain myself and pass the time? Here's how you do it. You go by Upstate Understandings. It's my comedy album, produced by Rob Adler. Jokes by me. You go buy it. You go to jimsearch.bandcamp.com. You pick up a copy. You pick up 3. And then let's say when you get those physical copies, you go back to the Amherst station and you leave them there as a gift.
Wow.
Yeah. You pass that shit forward. You know what I mean? Now, that's what I would do if I were just hanging out at the Amherst station, but that's just me. That's personally what I would get down for. Rob, what would you do? Well, let's say you're posted up there.
So you're at the Amherst station and you're actually a subway engineer. And I don't mean someone who makes sandwiches for a living.
Sure. You're not a sandwich artist.
Correct. You are a subway engineer and you've just begun. You're going home because you just started an expansion out of the Amherst station. However, you've just gotten the news that the subway walls are 10 inches too thick out of the 12 inches that they're supposed to be. And my God, the next week is going to be a hell of a week. Getting those. Also, the subways can't turn around the corner. So they're simultaneously, the walls are too thick, but also too thin. You got a lot of problems.
You got a lot of shit going on there, man.
It's true. So when you're at home in the next week, you're just going to want to chill out. You're going to want to relax. You just want to have no stress when you're at home because I cannot stress enough how shitty of a week you're going to have.
Right.
You're going to go to brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com and grab my album, New York Sticky, and it's going to help you relax. It's a great album to have on as you chisel away subway walls or slather them up with new cement to thicken them up. Whatever you got to do, it's going to get you through. And it's just a great instrumental album inspired by funk, disco, go-go, all great dancey, vibey kind of music. Check that out. But also check out our documentary called Understanding Upstate. This might sound familiar. It's a documentary about the making of the album Jim just told you about, Upstate Understandings. And the link for it is in the description. It's actually up on YouTube for free, so just go check it out.
Go check it out. Take a look at it. And also, I want to say, you listen to Rob's album, you're in Buffalo, plays well on the water. If you want to hang out by Lake Erie, throw that motherfucker on, man. You're going to enjoy yourself.
There you go.
Just saying.
Also, you're probably going to enjoy yourself if you subscribe to the show. Just throwing that out there. We'll enjoy it if you rate the show, give us a 5-star rating, review the show. Again, one-time offer. Throw in your favorite kind of speedy or whatever kind of speedy you want me to make. I'll even, I know for Jim, this is sacrilege for you, but I'll do a goddamn tofu speedy. I'll make it. I won't enjoy it. I will not enjoy it, but I'll make it.
Caramba.
I'll make it. And then I'll tell you how terrible it was.
I felt the spirit of Lupo's rise up.
But we also will feel the ratings and reviews rise up on our podcast. So throw it in there. If you want to stay on Jim's good side, I don't recommend recommending a tofu speedy. What I do recommend, though, is Jim, that you tell everyone what we're going to be talking about next week.
Well, I will tell you this. There is definitely something very good brewing next week. We got something brewing. Okay? That's all I can tell you.
I got a closing transition brewing for us. Are you ready for it?
Oh, I am.
Jim, we've been underground all day. Let's head up to street level so we can get on out of here.
Incredible.
I've had worse. I've had worse.
Bye. Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.